That was painful to watch. Manchester United losing 2-0 to Newcastle. Let's be totally honest. That was a battering. That was a 2-0 battering. Newcastle deserved the win, deserved to score more than two. Manchester United deserved to lose. And I wish that I could just pin all of this on Casemiro and Eriksen's absence. And I will speak about that, but I can't, because that was a total, overall, shocking team performance. Pretty much every player, I would say, apart from David De Gea. Anthony was okay in the first half. That's as far as the compliments pretty much go in that game. Manchester United, not for the first time this season. I always remember it because it was horrendous. That gap between Arsenal at home and City away and the dip. That happened again there. This 2-week international break. We all felt that it could be positive. Rashford having a rest. I think he rested for that game as well there, just like everybody else. But Erik ten Hag, he went for it towards the end. And I know there's going to be some criticism from Gary Neville in the game and from a lot of people about the fact that we played with one centre-back towards the end. Oh, what's Erik ten Hag doing? X, Y, Z. He threw the kitchen sink at it, and it didn't work. And I'd much rather my manager do that at 1-0 down and we lose 2-0 rather than just see out. It was just woeful. It was just woeful from everybody. But the core focus of my frustration is just how much Manchester United looked like Manchester United of old, of Solskjaer, of the Rangnick era, of all of that, without Casemiro and without Eriksen. It is disgusting how big that difference is between how we play and how we control a game of football to how we just can't do it when they don't play. Man United in that first half, Newcastle knew what to do. Play with the aggressive front press, squeeze the space. They're not going to have any balls. Bruno played deeper to try. It's square pegs, round holes. It's compromises everywhere. Weghorst, invisible in that game. McTominay, absolutely invisible as well, playing in a more advanced role. Ten Hag giving him the nod there because he scored 4 goals in the international break. But McTominay played better in the second half. Man United were slightly better. Geez, I'm trying to find a compliment. There really isn't a compliment there. That was just an overall shocking team performance from every single player. As I said, apart from this man there. And we still lost 2-0. If David De Gea wasn't there, it felt like one of those games like Mourinho, when we finished second. We just get pumped and pumped and pumped. But what do you think is the biggest takeaway from that game? My biggest takeaway from that game revolves around just the shocking lack of control that we have without Casemiro and Eriksen. But I have to say that it was just shocking elsewhere. Every single player. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, while he was playing deeper. Square pegs, round holes. Square pegs, round holes. McTominay's not a central defensive midfielder. And because Bruno was playing deeper, there was so much. We never got the ball through to him in that central attacking midfield. Weghorst had like 7 touches in that first half. But Weghorst, again, we saw the weaknesses of Weghorst. Weghorst shouldn't be starting for Manchester United up front 19 times in a row. We need a new centre-forward in the summer. But if you look at that game there, and you don't think that a central midfield signing is arguably just as important as a new number 9, I'd be very, very surprised. It's staggering. We waited 2 weeks to see United back in action. I was genuinely excited. It was going to be a tough game today. It was always going to be a tough game. Newcastle knew what to do against us, and they did it very, very well. Of course, Alan Saint-Maximin was the man who made the difference in the first half. I expected that. It frustrates me seeing Bruno play so deep, because Bruno just is not good there. When he's in a position where he really gets squeezed on the ball and people can nick at his heels, get him angry. It's a decision in the first half when Cher, which I think it was Fabian Cher, tackled him, ball went out, and it was a goal kick when it was definitely a corner. Bruno lost his head for a couple of minutes after that because he gets pissed off. When he gets pissed, his thought process it's not on. And Marcus Rashford in that game, absolutely everybody. Nobody played well apart from that. As I said, De Gea and we lost 2-0. What was Rashford like there? What was everybody like? Such a total disconnect from front to back in that team. And Ten Hag, what's his reaction to that? Now, I think there are going to be people that are going to be criticising Ten Hag's decision to start Weghorst because people love doing that. That's what he's doing until Martial's fit. Martial came on and looked pretty good. If Martial was fit, would I be starting him every game over Weghorst? Yes, of course I would, but he's not, and he never is. Hopefully he will be between now and the end of the season because we need that. But Newcastle, to their credit, defensively, and they were very, very good. Overall as a team, very, very good. And they are third because they deserve to be third. But Man United now have been dragged into a top 4 race. With everything going on with the FA Cup and with everything going on with the Europa League, that game there today, in my opinion, was probably the most single important Premier League game that we have left. Because that now drags us straight into it. Newcastle leapfrogging us, going into third. I think Spurs can go ahead of us on points if they win on Monday now. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that one, but I think I am. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about Rashford after watching that game. I suppose I could say the same thing about every single other individual. And that's what I mean. As much as I want to sit here and just blame Eriksen and Casemiro's absence and the performance on that, I can't. Whether I looked at Rashford, whether I looked at Bruno, whether I looked at McTominay, sure. Thought Varane and Martinez did okay, but we lost 2-0. Anthony, I thought I did all right. I got up against Dan Burn in the first half, and he felt a bit aggrieved to go off. And it was so annoying that when we brought Sancho and Martial on, we had basically hung on for 60 minutes, right? And after we brought those on, we conceded 4 minutes later, boom. Game was kind of gone from that point. And there are going to be people that slate Ten Hag for what he did there. What do you think about the decision towards the end there? Took off Varane, took off Martinez, put Lindelof on. We had Pellistri come on. We had Sancho on Martial. I don't know what the formation was. I don't know what the shape was. But ultimately, it led to chaos. And it was certainly partly responsible for us conceding that second goal. But I would much rather see a manager go for it and try and get that equaliser than just to try and, let's just hope that something changes in the end of this game and we can somehow sneak a goal. What was our best chance in that game? Maybe Martial cutting inside on his left foot. Maybe Weghorst in the first half when Anthony put him through. I am scraping the barrel because there was nothing there. No connect. It's not hard to play against Manchester United. Press us when we got the ball without Casemiro and with Eriksen, and we're not going to be able to do anything. De Gea is going to have to kick it long. Then I don't know how Weghorst and McTominay don't win any headers, which is a bit weird. But it is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And Newcastle knew what to do today, and they did it. And it was a perfect game plan from them. It was a perfect performance from them, and it was quite the opposite from Manchester United. As I said, I would just love to just blame everything on that. But after the last time we had a break between games, Man United were off it. And the same thing happened here again today. I don't know whether is it because Ten Hag's system is so intense that when you're out of it, you're like, oh, thank God I'm out of it. And then you go back into it and it takes you time to work up to pace. But Newcastle, we knew they were going to come out as today. They came out from the blocks fast. And if they had better finishers, they would have been 2, maybe 3-0 up in that first half. It finished 2-0. It could have easily been 4 or 5. I'll be honest, Man United's form away from home is definitely a concern. You've got the Brentford game in there. You've got City. You've got Liverpool. You've now got Newcastle. I don't know about, we've got Spurs coming up at some point soon. Chelsea, we drew 0-0. Arsenal, we lost. It's a worry. Of course it's a worry. And this team is far from complete. And when you take out the main components of it, it goes to show the importance of central midfielders and how Manchester United have got into this mess over these last few years because we hadn't signed players like that. They are the heartbeat of your team. They are the pieces in the middle that connect everything together. And when you take it out, you've got your Donut FC. And Man United, we played like a bunch of donuts today. It was shocking. As I said, every single player, apart from David De Gea and maybe Anthony in the first half, are really stretching, just angry. And they should be angry with themselves. Because that now drags us into a genuine top 4 chase. We've got 2 games in hand, I believe, on Spurs. So that game now, away at Spurs, huge significance when that comes up in a few weeks' time. If we had come away and not lost that game, that was the most important thing. But we didn't. We lost 2-0 and Newcastle deserved it. And if we had got a point, that would have been a sneaky, sneaky point. But Ten Hag's going to come into some criticism. Every single player there should be coming out to some fierce criticism, apart from De Gea. Shocking. Really shocking. And to wait 2 weeks to see United back in action and to do that, man, we need more in the summer. We do, but the drop-off there, absolutely inexcusable. And you can't just put that solely at the feet of Casemiro and Eriksen and them not being there. What's your reaction? Let me know in the comments.